Hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Creations, here to share 3 cards with you today. And I'll get to those in a moment, but first I have to share this is my latest Glowforge project. Can't get it all in my camera the way it's sitting, but you can kind of see it's on a round plaque I bought from Michael's, and then I cut out all the pieces and painted them and stuck them on and created a nice wall plaque that I'm going to put up for the fall on my front door wall. So pretty cool, huh? So that's my latest Glowforge project. But let's get to the cards. Now, I told you the other day, well, I think I did anyway, I had a gathering to make cards on World Card Making Day, which was October 1st. It was a Saturday. And we had 18 ladies sign up, 12 or anyway, they didn't all come. So I had card basics left over. I didn't really want to make 6 more of the same card. So I decided to challenge myself and use the bases that we had already cut and make Christmas cards with them. And so let me show you what the base was. The bases were these. And if you see my other video, you'll see how we used those, because I showed it in the other video. But anyway, this is the base that was left. So I go, okay, what am I going to do to make a pool party, which is this color, into a Christmas card? So it's not, for me, it's not a traditional color, and so I had to make it up a little bit different. So let me tell you, I'm going to be using the Joyful Flurry stamp set, and I'm using this little snowflake here, and I am using the scallop contours die for this scallop die, and I am going to be using, of course, Pool Party, and then this piece is the snowflake vellum, and then some basic white for inside the card, and then just the Pool Party ink, which is right here, which I'm going to need in a minute, so I'll pull that out. Okay, so this is, like I said, from the Snowflake Vellum collection of DSP. I cut it 4 by 4 1/4, and I'll explain how I got these to line up when we do the second card, so stay tuned for that. Okay, now this vellum is really nice. It's got a more opaque background. It's not quite as see-through as standard vellum, and so I just used regular Stamp and Seal, and it does not show through. So I just used regular Stamp and Seal to attach it to the card front. So let's do that. This one is a very simple. Okay, come on, there we go. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. And I am just going to line these scallops up, and I want to leave a border all the way around, just like that. There's that. Then inside the card, I just cut a regular piece of basic white. It is 4 by 5 1/4. And what you see down here, what I did here, is I used Versamark ink, and I stamped it on Versamark, and then I stamped it on the Pool Party, and then I stamped it on here. And I just did one little corner, and so all of them had some Versamark to make them sticky, and the color behind them, and then I used white embossing powder and embossed them, and the color still showed through, but it gives them that glossy look, and I don't know if you can really see it, but it looks really rich here. And then all I did was attach this to inside the card. You can see I was using the back for something, and it didn't come out the way I wanted, so I turned it over, made use of my card. Just so you know, I've been stamping for 25 or 30 years, and I still goof. So don't feel bad when you goof. Just make the most of it. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to put this on here, leaving that border all the way around. Just like that. A little bit of adhesive on my finger there. And then I'm going to take the Pool Party and this sentiment, Happy Christmas, which came from the Joyful Flurry stamp set. And I'm going to just put that right here. Like that. Shines up pretty good. And here is the card. Now this one, it covered it up because I didn't plan well, but it still looks good when you open it. This one I planned well, and I left room for the Happy Christmas. What do you think? Looks good, I think. Okay, I'm still happy with it, and I like what it came up with for this card. Card number 2. Card number 2, I am using the Brightest Glow. I'll get my cheat sheet here so I make sure I get it right. For the sentiment, which is going to be Season's Greetings, I am using the Labels Aglow dies for the sentiment tag right here. I am using the Layering Circles dies. I will be using the trees from Grassy Grove. I did not buy any tree stamps this year, and I realized I really didn't have any Christmas tree type stamps, so I resorted to Grassy Grove, and I think it worked out beautifully, so I want to show you that. So, and I used the die, the Grove dies as well, to cut out these trees, because those are the trees I'm going to be using. And now I'm going to show you how I did this. So same basic card, that scalloped edged short fold there, like that. And you can see what it looks like. I did take all of my trees, and I did color them with Wink of Stella to just give them a little bit of a shimmery look, because it is kind of supposed to be, in my mind, winter is snow. I'm sorry, it just is. So here we go. I'm not, you can see I'm not trying to stay on the, I'm just putting it on there. And it works perfect. Oops, that got a little thick. Kept coming out. That's okay, it'll be all right. And we'll take some of it off of there. He's starting to wrinkle. Oh no. There we go. You have to forgive me. I just have so much fun stamping. I hope you do too. Okay, so there's that. We'll set those aside and let them dry for a minute, because I want to show you. For the base card, I used the little dots, and that came from the Joyful Flurries stamp set, and I embossed them with silver embossing powder. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, they have the embossing kit. It's Embossing Editions kit, and it's on page 49 in the current mini catalog. And I don't know if they're going to bring it back in the main catalog next year or not, but I've had this tool since way back. They brought it back. I love this tray, because then you can just do your stuff into the tray. It's got the little thing here at the bottom. You just tip it up and pour your stuff. I store this in a drawer. I keep a paintbrush handy, because sometimes you get a little bit of lines where you don't want them. It's easy to brush them away if you have a small brush. I use a scoop. I have got these from Amazon. They're just a whole bunch of them. They're used for science experiments. And they come in really handy, because you can scoop it and then sprinkle it right where you want it and then shake it off. So be sure and check out the kit, because it comes with the tray and the embossing buddy guy there that keeps the static so it doesn't stick anywhere you don't want it. So I did that. I also stamped the greeting and with Versamark and embossed it with silver as well. So that's that. This is the piece that's going to go inside right here like that. And let's go ahead and do that. Just get it out of our way. It's not going to hurt a thing to just get it done. So let's do it. That gives you a place to write your greeting on the card. This gets attached with dimensionals. We can do that. Get it out of the way. Get my little trash cup over here. I'm going to put 3 of them on this. I don't like the great big trash things that they have, so I made myself a little one with my, it's basically just a pen pen and pencil cup that you can put on your desk, but it works perfect because it gives me some place to throw all those little pieces when I'm working. Okay, so there's that. It's ready to go. Now let's get this front piece ready to go. I want my scallops on this piece to line up with the scallops on this piece. So what I did is I put this in here. It's bigger. It's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it's bigger than I need it to be. And I closed this over it, and I took a very, very light pencil mark along there so that I can take and put this on my little very used piece of washi tape. And now I can line this up with those lines like that and tape it down. And then I'll run it through the Big Shot over here. Big Shot. You know what I mean. Stamp and cut and emboss. There's too many words, but anyway. So we'll run it over there. Okay, so then now these will line up. See how they line up? Isn't that nice? Oh, so cute. Okay, now I do want a border around this, and because I know that the card is 4 1/4 and this is 4 1/4, I need to take 1/8 of an inch off of each side. So I'm going to put it in my trimmer. I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of that side, turn it over so I've got a nice flat edge to work with, and I'm going to take 1/8, make sure I do the 1/8 of an inch off of this side. Okay, and that should leave me my borders, and it does. See, nice borders. Now it doesn't leave the top border, so I'm just looking to see how much I need to take off. And I think if I did 1/4 of an inch, it would be enough. So I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top and hold my breath. And we have a little bit of leeway here, so it's going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to look good. Now, before I attach it, I want to cut this hole in the center. So I am using the layering circle die, and this is the one that is 2 1/8 inches. And I'm going to just center it on this piece and cut that circle out. So I'm off screen here for a minute. Let me get that done. I waited to do this after the scallops were already cut. I wanted to make sure I could center my piece well, and I couldn't visualize it until the scallops were cut out. So there we go, just like that. And then I am going to dimensionalize this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. And let's get some dimensionals. And we'll put some on here. I'm going to be somewhat generous because this is more flimsy paper. It's not quite as stiff as regular cardstock. And so I am being a little bit generous with the dimensionals because I want to be sure that it will be well supported. Get one right here next to this circle. Okay. And then we'll put this on here like that. There we go. Now, the trees, some of them I put flat, and 2 of them I dimensionalized. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. Since this one got a little bit too much wink and it's kind of curling on me, I'm going to put it down flat and give it lots of sticky to make sure it stays flat. And I just tucked them in just like, oh, I'm going to have to trim that stem just a little bit because that's not going to show, and I want those trees to be further down. So there we go. So I trimmed the stem on that one. And then let's put this one. Now I used 4 different colors. I used, for the trees, I used Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, Mint Macaron, and Pool Party. And I'm going to put this tree over here. And again, because of my dimensionals in there, I'm going to have to cut just a little bit off. And this one's going to go flat as well. And we'll put it up a little bit higher like that. I want it to be underneath the circle. There we go. Get under there. There we go. Then these two I am going to put on with dimensionals. Let's put this one on next. And we'll just put a couple of dimensionals on that one. And see if we have stems. Oh, we don't have anything in the way this time. Okay, and layer it there. And then this one I'm going to layer, and so it comes outside of the circle, which gives it even just a little more depth. And so because I'm doing that, I'm going to stay to the one side, so when I turn it over, I won't have dimensionals in the way of the part that overlaps. Let's see. That's ended up being almost exactly where the other one is. Let's do a little minor rearranging here. See if we can get this to come up. Oh, I did. Good enough. Let's tuck that a little bit differently. There we go. And then let's put this back in there. There we go. And now we can do that one, and then a little bit of that one peeks out. There we go. I like that. Looks good, don't you think? And that's that card. That is card number 2. Fun. I like it. Turned out to be almost one of my favorites. Almost. Okay, and then card number 3. I am going to be using the scallop contour die again to make the front piece. I am going to be using the cottage wreath dies, both the large and the small of these two dies. They're a little bit different. I am using the Deckled Rectangle dies, the largest and the second largest. I am using the gold holly leaves, and let's get started and show you what we're going to do with that one. So again, we have the Pool Party base. And let me show you the card. You can look at it while I'm making it. Isn't that pretty? I just really, really like this card. Okay, base is Pool Party. The paper I am using for the design is the Lights Aglow DSP. It's 6x6, and I chose this one that has the speckled strands, and mainly because in that particular paper there were too many that were dedicated colors, and I felt like they were just too bold, and I felt like this one was more subtle enough that I could mix it with this and it would turn out fine. Now I did this piece exactly like I did the other one that I just showed you, and so we'll go ahead and attach that flat. So you don't have to explain that again. You can go back and watch that, how I did that, matching up the scallops. And we will attach this to the card front. Okay, then I cut a piece of Evening Evergreen, and it is cut 3x3, and it's going to get attached flat, centered on here, just centered. And that looks pretty good to me. And then I am going to put just a plain of basic white. It's not scalloped or anything. It's just a plain 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So when it's attached, it'll leave an 1/8 of an inch border of that Evening Evergreen showing. Someday I'll get the hang of that tape. Okay, oh, got some on the front here. Let's get that off of there. Okay, and again, just centered right here. just like that. Now I've already taken the two pieces. I cut the double one from the Evening Evergreen, and I cut this one from the white glimmer paper that's in the mini catalog. I'm going to attach this one flat, and I am going to be using my handy dandy Zig 2-way glue pen to do that, and I'm just going to run a bead right here in the center where there's a solid center, just like that. And I am going to center that on this white piece. That looks about right. We'll hold it down for a little bit, let it get good and dry. Let that sit for a minute. Okay, then these lovely gold holly leaves are just way too cute. And I did cut a bow. That came from the joyful, whatever I called it, stamp, the dies, the cottage wreath dies, excuse me. Okay, now we're going to attach these gold holly leaves, and I just used glue dots to do that, and we will just put one on the tip of each one of these. I can't see that there's a right side or a wrong side. These look beautiful from both sides, so that was cute. Don't know where it went, but it jumped somewhere. I'll just keep going here. Get a glue dot on each one of those, just like that. And I really couldn't tell if there was a right end or a wrong end either. And then when I put them on, I just put them so they stuck out just a little bit at an angle going around. You could put more if you wanted to than 5. I felt like that was a good amount. It gave it enough color without being too much. I might even just move this one down just a little bit. And then this piece is just going to go over the top like this. And again, I'm using my glue pen, and I am just running a dot of glue all the way around. And setting it so it comes out over those, and we'll hold it down for a second. And we're almost done. Give that a chance to stick just a little bit. Takes it a minute, and it especially needs to stick between the foil leaves because it won't stick to those. There's texture there, and it won't stick to it. So we got to make sure it sticks in between, like here and here. So that's why I'm holding it down in those particular places. There we go. Now we have this little bow, and I'm going to put it on the front in the center with little mini dimensionals. They just fit on these parts of the bow without showing. And that's, if I can get it to come off, there we go. And one on the other side. And you have to place them kind of carefully, but if you do, they will not show when you turn it over. Or you could cut them down even more if you needed to. For some reason, there it goes. It was fighting me. And I put that in the center with that raised like that. And then in my stash, I had the champagne rhinestones, and I took the largest one and I put it in the center of my bow. Oopsie. There we go. There we go. So that's the front of the card. It's looking beautiful. Now we're going to do the inside of the card. What I did is I used the Deckled Rectangle dies, and I used the largest die to cut this basic white piece. Then I took the next largest die, and I took the designer series paper from Lights Aglow, and I cut it 4 by 5 1/4, which will, when it's attached, leave a border. And then I took the next largest deckled die and cut it out of the center, which leaves me this piece that I can use for another card. So I will set that aside so I don't waste my DSP, because it can be very expensive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bead of this tape adhesive, stamp and seal all the way around. And then I am going to very carefully and lightly attach this to that piece I just cut out. Carefully, just like that. So that's what it looks like on the back. That's what it looks like on the front. I've got my nice little small border all the way around. I'm going to add some more adhesive so that I catch that border with the adhesive. And then I am going to put it inside the card. And again, it's designed to leave that 1/8 inch border, so all I got to do is line it up and lay it down, and there it is. And that just helped make the inside look even more lovely. And like I said, with cutting that center out, now I have a piece I can use on another card. So, keeps me from wasting my stuff. Then I am going to stamp the sentiment with the Evening Evergreen to carry that color scheme out. And I am using the Merry Christmas that came from, yes, Brightest Glow stamp set. And it just, and I mean just, fits. You have to put it just right, but it will fit just like that. And there it is. So there is card number 3. Wasn't that fun? I hope you enjoyed the coming today and watching the video and seeing the cards. Let me show them to you one more time. We've got the first one here with the Snowflake vellum and the bright glow, or whatever it is, for the stamp set there. We did this one using those trees from the Grassy Grove stamp set. And then the final one with those beautiful gold holly leaves and that lovely Merry Christmas sentiment and the Lights Aglow DSP. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to have you shop with me, and I would love to have you subscribe to my channel as well. I have a lot of fun making my videos and sharing them with you, and hopefully inspiring you to get creative. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later.